Focus isn't found, it's forged, Perry, in the storm of everything you choose to control.
Hey everyone! Today marks day 14 of my Undegreed journey, and as usual, I kick things off with my DSA lecture. In today's lecture, we discuss some really interesting LeetCode problems, diving deep into their logic, recursion, and backtracking patterns. The questions covered were subsets 2, combination sum 2, and Is Subsequence. Let's know about them a bit. Subsets 2 is about generating all unique subsets of an array that may contain duplicates. The key is to sort the array and skip duplicates during recursion. Combination sum requires finding all combinations that add up to a target, where elements can be reused multiple times. Combination sum 2 is similar but allows each number to be used only once, so we skip duplicates and move forward. Is Subsequence is a simple yet elegant two-pointer problem that checks whether all characters of string S appear in order within string T. After the lecture, I put the concepts into practice on LeetCode to solidify my understanding. Starting with Is Subsequence, I used a simple two-pointer approach, one for S and one for T. Whenever characters matched, both pointers moved, otherwise, only T moved. If the S pointer reached its end, it meant every character appeared in order within T. A short and efficient linear time solution. Next, in subsets 2, LeetCode 90, I used backtracking with sorting. After sorting, I explored subsets recursively and skipped duplicates at the same recursive level to avoid repetition, ensuring all subsets were unique. For combination sum, I again used backtracking but allowed reuse of elements. Each recursive call subtracted the current element from the target without moving forward in the index, exploring all valid combinations until the target hit 0. Combination sum 2 felt similar but had one rule change: each number could only be used once. So, I sorted the array, skipped duplicates, and moved forward in the index after each recursive call, ensuring all combinations were unique. By the end, the differences between all four problems were clear. Subsets 2 focuses on unique subsets, combination sum allows reuse, combination sum 2 restricts it, and Is Subsequence uses a clean linear traversal. Everything clicked perfectly once I implemented them all. After my DSA session, it was time for my daily language practice, and today was German day. I proudly extended my Duolingo streak to day 303. Today's focus was on modals, learning how to express things like "let me tell you" or "can you show me" in German. I also learned new vocabulary like Schwimmbad, which means swimming pool, and das Geld, which means money. I practiced forming sentences using these words and modals, making my understanding more natural. While doing that, I also boosted my Spanish score to 13, which was a nice bonus. After my language practice, I hit the gym. It was leg day, and I started with 2 sets each of squats, leg extensions, hamstring curls, calf raises. After finishing legs, I also trained triceps, performing 2 sets each of triceps rope pushdown, overhead tricep extension, rope tricep kickbacks. By the end, my legs were trembling from the pump, but it was totally worth it. Post-gym, I dove into machine learning and explored more regularization techniques. Having already covered ridge regression, today was about lasso regression and its hybrid with ridge, elastic net. Lasso adds a penalty term, lambda, that controls how much we shrink coefficients. As lambda increases, some weights shrink completely to 0, performing automatic feature selection and keeping only the key variables. The L1 regularization term, absolute sum of coefficients, differs from ridge L2. As lambda rose, coefficients dropped one by one until only the crucial ones remained, showing how lasso simplifies while generalizing. When visualized, lasso formed sharp diamond-shaped corners where coefficients hit 0, while ridge showed smooth circular contours that approached 0 but never reached it. Ridge smooths, lasso cuts, a clear visual contrast. I then switched to Gemini for an interactive ridge versus lasso quiz that helped solidify everything. Finally, I explored elastic net regression, the best of both worlds. It's great for high-dimensional data, combining L1, lasso, for sparsity and L2, ridge, for stability. In short, ridge slightly shrinks important coefficients. Lasso removes the unimportant ones. Elastic net balances both with help of lasso and ridge, creating models that are stable, efficient, and precise. After finishing my ML practice, I moved on to my daily reading session with 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. Today, I read Chapter 11 and Chapter 12, both of which offer deep insights into building and scaling ideas. Chapter 11, If You Build It, Will They Come, talks about how even the best product fails without the right distribution. Thiel explains that success isn't just about creating something great, it's about making sure it reaches people. The key lesson was simple: the best distributed product often beats the best built one. Chapter 12, Man and Machine, explores how humans and technology should work together instead of competing. Thiel highlights that the future belongs to systems where human intuition and machine precision complement each other. It perfectly connected with what I've been learning in machine learning, the idea that technology should enhance human ability, not replace it. I wrapped up my reading by noting one powerful line: humans and computers are not substitutes, they're complements. That thought summed up the entire essence of the chapter, and honestly, my journey too. Next up was revising my multilinear regression model, and this time I wanted to go beyond just writing code. I wanted to understand how every part of it worked together. I started by cleaning the data. While inspecting the dataset, I found several houses labeled with negative prices, which could seriously mislead the model. So, I removed those noisy entries and restructured the dataset properly. After that, I loaded the CSV file and created the feature matrix X, combining all features into a single array instead of separating them as X1, X2, X3, and so on, along with the target vector Y representing house prices. Once the dataset was ready, I split it into training and testing sets to evaluate the model's performance accurately. For pre-processing, I use scikit-learn standard scaler, which automatically standardizes the data, saving the hassle of calculating mean and standard deviation manually. Gemini helped me step through this process and explained how the scaler fits only on the training data to avoid leakage and then transforms the test data accordingly. That made my pipeline more structured and efficient. After pre-processing, I implemented the three core parts of the model: the error function to calculate how far predictions deviate, the gradient function to determine how weights should adjust, and the gradient descent algorithm to iteratively minimize that error. Running gradient descent felt like bringing the math to life. Instead of dealing with multiple individual parameters, I used one consolidated weight vector for all features, allowing the model to learn everything collectively through the X matrix. Finally, I plotted the predicted versus actual prices, and the results looked impressive. The predicted points closely hugged the regression line, proving the model had captured the underlying trend effectively. The learned weights revealed clear insights: square footage and the number of bedrooms positively influenced house prices, while the age of the property and its distance from the city center had a negative impact. The bias term was nearly zero, showing the predictions relied on real patterns. Overall, the model proved how cleaning, scaling, and optimization build accuracy. Then came my daily trading session. I opened TradingView, checked Forex Factory, and loaded my XAU-USD chart. The markets looked calm, so I waited patiently, watching price action unfold. But the setup never confirmed, so instead of forcing a trade, I stayed disciplined. Moments like these test a trader's mindset. Sometimes the best trade is no trade at all. Finally, I wrapped up the day with Quant Prep. Today's topic was integration as I finished differentiation, diving into the very basics. Integration, as we know, is the antiderivative, essentially reversing differentiation. Before solving problems, I created a cheat sheet of all essential formulas for both integration. Then I practiced several examples and got my rhythm after first few, and then tackled some problems, including some tricky ones involving trigonometric identities. It was a solid session, and I'll continue advancing further into integration tomorrow.
The network awakens. Intelligence takes form. Undegreed. The signature remains.